Hello everyone, welcome to the Northland Artist Conversation. My name is Mark Kelly, I am your host. Thank you very much for joining us. Where are we? We're recording this podcast in start of November. It's starting to get a bit warm, a bit humid, a bit gross. But I guess it's that time of year. I'm joined once again behind the mic with producer Andrew. How are you?
Hello, not too bad.
Good, excellent, thanks for playing. It's today's podcast. I'm going to go over to my shot. Can we just put like some beauty sparkles around here, please?
Blue steel. Oh.
There we go. That was Magnum. Or La Tigre, which is the softer side. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. Today's podcast is... it's a little bit more casual, a little bit more loose than what we sort of talk about. It's the guest is Stephen Cox, who is the producer, beat maker extraordinaire for the legendary In Their Own Minds OBC. So it was actually quite cool. I think we're apart with the exclusion of one or two OBC members, we actually had pretty much on, and that is actually very cool because we get to sort of see everyone's different perspectives and stuff like that. Producer Andrew decided to turn his mic on and contribute when it wasn't necessary either.
No. I contribute when you're calling me out, mate.
No, you're all right. Sit down, Snow. So I'm just going to, before I do that, please make sure to like us on all of our social medias. Make sure you follow us, share, enjoy, have a good laugh. Let's sit down and have a conversation with Stephen Cox. We're not going to have a particular start. I think this one's going to be a lot more loose than a lot of other...
Are they normally structured?
Well, yeah, there's a bit of a format to them. Thanks for watching, by the way. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on the structure.
How many have you seen?
A few.
Okay.
I saw like the first couple at least.
Yeah.
And then
We had no clue what we were doing.
Oh, like... Nah, when you's like, oh, you got to get on one, and then I saw the first few, I was like, holy shit, these people are interesting. Like, they've moved countries and shit.
Yeah. And then we ran out of guests, so we picked you.
Pretty much, eh? Like, fuck. Desperation.
Oh, mate, desperate times.
Yeah.
Steve, welcome to the podcast, man.
Cheers.
Thanks. Well, we tried this before.
Yeah.
But with a whole lot of technical issues.
What happened?
Including audio that just magically vanished.
Fuck.
Like a fart in the wind. So to answer your question, yeah, there actually is kind of a format to these things. Yep. We like to learn about our guest and what their background is, because your background is quite interesting.
Not really.
What is? You don't think it is.
Okay.
There are other people that don't think it is either, but there are some that think it is very interesting. I've yet to talk to any of them.
Fuck. Yeah. Fuck, I'm just kidding.
Okay. So for those of you that don't know, Steve is actually the beat maker and producer for OBC, and producer Andrew, who is also behind the equipment tonight, is one of the lead vocalists for OBC. These guys have been mates for 20 years, 15, 20 years now. It's been a while.
What year is it? 2020.
It's 2024. So without making producer Andrew feel extra old, I'll say it's been a while.
Yeah.
Now, you obviously didn't sort of wake one morning when you were 3 and go, I want to make beats, and that was it. How did you kind of fall into music and hip hop?
Yeah, I didn't, like, when I was a kid, I wasn't into music at all. I think the first thing I thought I was going to do was drawing, like cartoons and shit.
Really?
Yeah. And then I went through that, and then I started making, like, I was dabbling in making computer games and that. And then one day I got a demo disc with FL Studio demo. Back then it was Fruity Loops 3.
Yep. Fruity Loops.
And the fellow that gave it to me was like, the fruit is the music, and he was half right. It was like they just drawing a fruit in the piano roll.
Oh, right.
And then like the MIDI was like, it wasn't actually the song, but there was a big fruit there, and it buzzed me out. I was like, I just like tattooing with shit on computers and making anything. So yeah, I kind of just picked it up from there. And
so how old were you when you started your drawing thing? And do you still draw?
nah,
Did you give it up?
I just lost interest in it when I was about. I think I was doing it in like high school and that, and then one day I was like, "Fuck, I can't draw anymore," and just stopped doing it.
Okay.
And I started with music instead.
Right.
I kind of like faded into it, kind of thing, yeah.
So transitioned out of one
and moved into
into the other.
Pretty much.
What was it like for you, sort of growing up and being artistic and stuff like that? Did you get support from the parents, or
nah,
or were they like, you're a weirdo?
Yeah. Yeah, nah, they didn't have any interest in it. The old man was just like, "Hey, how's your maths? Like, what are you gonna do?" It's like 13. He's like, "What do you want to do as a career?" I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "Oh, when I was your age, I was, doing this and that."
Oh,
and
yeah. See, my dad was the same. Back in my day.
Yeah, 50s, born in the 50s kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, back in my day, I used to walk to school in bare feet, and I'd keep my feet warm by stepping in cow shit. So, good on you, Dad.
Fuck, we did that in the 90s. It was.
Look, it was a different time.
Yeah.
So, how was, why the change? Why did you go from drawing, which if you were doing it for such a long time, you probably didn't suck at it, but then what happened? Did you discover the world of hip hop, or
pretty much? Yeah.
Or was that when you met producer Andrew, and then you were like, man, this guy really reminds me of other great white rappers like Snow and Vanilla Ice?
Oh shit!
I knew it was coming, so I left
Yeah.
my mic on.
Of course you did.
I got to defend myself.
Oh, they're gonna be able to hear you.
Yeah, they will. It's recorded. Producer Andrew joins us.
Nah. I just got given a CD once at high school, and my mate was just like, "Oh, listen to this," and I just kind of got into it and picked up on it. And then a while after that, I was like, "Oh, I could write to this." I don't know why. I just started doing it, and I think I started writing, and then I remembered that Fruity Loops existed. So one day I went and downloaded a copy off LimeWire and tried making beats.
Purchased
again.
one legally. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like 15. I don't know, like $400 or whatever it was.
Yeah,
but,
it's not cheap. It's not cheap now.
Yeah. And just went from there pretty much. Started making beats and sucked for ages, and kept trying to write, and the same thing pretty much. And eventually I kind of got the hang of it.
You started sucking less.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And I mean, it's the old adage, right? Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Because do you still have any of the really old beats?
Yeah, I got them all.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you look back on those previous beats and go and look at them objectively?
Yeah.
And go, man, for a 16-year-old, these were the bomb. Or do you look at them and go, don't know what I was thinking?
Pretty much. Like you listen to some of the 16-year-old producers. I bet if you go on YouTube and look up 16-year-old producers, they make actual good shit. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Back then I don't know what I was doing. I didn't have any music theory knowledge or anything like that, or anything like. I was just fucking around with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're doing that in high school, yeah?
Yeah.
What year was that?
11 onwards.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And what sort of inspired you to, like, who were your earliest inspirations for writing beats? Like, were you because often when we start, we want to try and emulate someone that we know, because it's easy, right? And then we sort of find our own voice and figure things out from there. Who were your early influences?
So the first kind of artist I was listening to was the whole Slim Shady, Aftermath, Dr. Dre, G Unit, all that kind of stuff.
12 Inches of Snow, great album.
What is that?
It's Snow, the original Jamaican Canadian rapper that Andrew's inspired from.
What the fuck? I don't know, but yeah.
Hang on. Canadian. What? Did you
Jamaican. This is Jamaican.
That's Canadian Jamaican rapper.
Oh,
Look, so for those of you, so if the two of you don't really know, or our listeners don't know, Snow had a hit song called Informer, and it went Informer, you're still I like your boom boom down. I don't know what the rest of the words
Oh, you're
are.
not making shit up.
No, I'm not. It's genuine. This is an actual dude. You're gonna
Yeah,
go home.
I know that song. Yeah.
Mark's the master of deep cuts. So.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. 12 inches of snow is really deep.
Fuck. I was like, yeah, Canadian, Jamaican. Fuck.
Yeah.
What?
Honestly, listen to the song. It's producer Andrew, if you edit this, or editor Lee J, if you edit this, can you please throw a picture of Snow, the artist Snow, just up here? That'd be good.
Hang on, with a like falling snow coming down over the street.
No, I mean the rapper Snow. Yeah.
Anyway,
So okay, so your early stuff was like Slim Shady, Dre.
Yeah.
What else?
I think around that time as well, or maybe a bit later on, I think I started getting into a bit more local stuff. Local as in New Zealand, so
Okay.
a lot of P Money, Shafu, King Kapisi,
Fast Crew.
a little bit, yeah. Not so much Fast Crew,
Okay.
but yeah. So a bit of that kind of thing as well.
Yeah.
Kind of, took a bit from that. But emulate, but like I failed to emulate it. If you listen back to it, it's like, nah, this is way off.
But at the time, it probably sounded pretty close, yeah?
Yeah. When I didn't have an ear for it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now, when did you and producer Andrew sort of actually connect? Was it at high school, just after high school?
It was high school, so this was back in the Bebo days. I think it was all kind of done through Bebo. So
Right.
I was making beats with a mate, and then he was kind of like, I don't know how he found this dude, but he found this other dude who was like making albums and shit at our school, and then somehow through him we kind of clicked up, and I started making beats for Andrew.
Did you guys go to the same school?
Yeah, Boys High.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy, man.
Yeah, for a short amount of time.
So,
yeah.
but you guys didn't actually know each other, like, prior during
Nah.
school, yeah?
Nah.
So you just sort of ran in different circles?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
wow.
Bebo, that's the fucking power of
Bebo. Power of Bebo, man.
fuck. Yeah.
For me, it was the power of MySpace.
Oh, yeah, it's only a couple years.
Or ICQ.
Ooh.
That throws it way, way, way back, man.
Yeah, I never know what that is. It's familiar. I don't know what that is. Is that like 90s internet?
Late 90s, early 2000s chat groups.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when you and producer Andrew kind of connected, did you go, yeah, this dude's pretty choice, I can write with him? Or did you instantly go, he's a dick, but I'll tolerate him for now?
No, it was cool. Like,
Still here.
yeah, you can
Oh,
still
yeah, still here.
Hey,
Sorry.
it was probably like the first fellow I heard sing. So I was like, oh shit, this is different. This is all good.
Yeah.
And then it was him and old Ants. And so the kind of 4 or 5 of us, that's like the roots of OBC pretty much.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
what year is that?
2007.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's sort of the first iteration of OBC.
Yeah, so back then it was the Outbreak Empire. Don't know where the name came from. Sounds like a church.
Isn't that
group.
OBE?
Yeah.
Outbreak Empire?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it changed. I don't know. Yeah, we just kind of went with OBC in the end and didn't give it a meaning. But we didn't want to use Outbreak Empire just because it sounded fucking corny.
Right, okay.
Shit.
All right, so then what did OBC stand for at the time then? Because obviously it wasn't Outbreak
It
Empire.
wasn't OBC back then. It was Outbreak Empire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
After it became... So when it moved from Outbreak Empire to becoming OBC...
that was a few years later.
Oh, right, okay.
And
right.
I think that was Outbreak Crew, which still sounded real church groupy.
Right.
It does, if you...
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that, the youth groups that would go to schools and
Yeah.
do rock concerts,
Yeah,
and they would seem cool.
yeah,
They played like covers
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
yeah.
That's
It was
the
always
one.
like a blaze or something to do with flames, or I don't know. I was always burning. I've just noticed. I've just gone past.
Fire for the Lord, brother.
Oh yeah. Jeez.
Okay, so you guys sort of remained mates and were the Outbreak Empire all the way through high school?
Yeah, well, it was probably like the last few years for us, really. Like that was my last year of high school.
Okay.
When did you leave high school? Probably that year, eh?
No, I don't think it was soon enough for him.
Bang on 16. October 25th.
Or you
whatever
left
year
that school
was.
or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was only really like a year at the most.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then yeah.
And then you made your break. Now, when you left school, did you just go into the workforce? Did you have a bit of time off, or what did you do?
I probably had like a month off and then had to start working. Just doing. I think I applied at a Indian takeaway as a joke, and then they gave me the job. I was like, oh fuck. Like behind the counter, I was like.
And how long, pray tell, did you work at this?
I was there for a year because it actually turned out to be pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah, shit. Yeah, free butter chicken, free naan breads. I was
The perks.
fuck. It was mean. Like, it was not bad. Only bad part was that like the manager used to try and disappear like before on payday, so he wouldn't have to give me my check. But yeah, other than that, it was pretty. Sweet.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had to kind of chase him.
Now, are you still writing beats at this point? Are you?
Yep.
Are you performing, or is it just
Nah,
recording music?
Nowhere near performing at this point.
Wow. Okay.
So we were supposed to have a few gigs lined up well before then, but
Mhm.
for whatever reason, they all kind of fell through. Yeah. I don't actually know. We weren't. I think these guys had performed. Actually,
Yeah.
that was another thing I'd seen. The other two perform at like a youth group thing. I was like, fuck, this is mean, but yeah,
Right.
it'll be ages before we'd all perform as a group.
Okay. So by ages, are we talking what? 5?
Like 4 years, yeah.
4 years.
Yeah,
It's probably more.
we
Wow.
pissed around a lot for pretty much from that 2007 till 2011. We just did fuck all.
Far out. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we did heaps, but we kind of pissed it away. Like, it was more just drinking and doing dumb shit.
Right. Okay.
We did the
yeah.
odd song. So we did the
Yeah,
original.
in between getting plastered,
Yeah.
you'd write a track.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
There was like a weekend or something where we wrote about 4 songs and we thought we were going to keep that momentum up, and we never did.
And then you got drunk
Or yeah,
and just never sustained.
pretty much. It was just some weird shit would happen. Like, I think one of us ended up moving away at some point, and just just not a lot got done until about 2011,
Wow.
and that was kind of when the actual OBC thing happened.
Okay.
Yeah,
So there's that 4-year period.
where we just kind of
Just found yourselves
we're just young, you know. You don't
Yeah.
really have any.
direction.
Yeah, you're more into other shit. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so we hit 2011.
Yeah.
Start performing, start doing a little bit of work, getting a little bit more serious, or is it still just casual as at that point?
It was still casual as. I think. So at some point we got hold of, like, I remember because Andrew and Ryan, I don't even know how Ryan kind of came into it. I knew him from high school,
Yeah.
but they just came up to me one day and were like, "Bro, do you want a job as a audio engineer at this place?" And no, excited as I was just like, "Fuck, this sounds too good to be true." And then they went and kind of showed me the place, and it was a legit studio.
Wow.
And we started just hanging out there and writing and that, and just kind of experimenting with the gear and stuff. And then at the same time, the other 2 members at the time, Jesse and ATAC, were kind of doing their own thing, and we all kind of came together in that spot and started recording.
Yeah.
And I think that's when we kind of started getting a little bit more serious with actually getting shit done. We eventually had a falling out with the owner, or something happened there where we're just like, oh fuck this, we'll just go back to recording in people's rooms and
Right.
stuff.
Okay.
And that's kind of where we ended up coming up with the first EP. And
What was that called?
Dealing with the Melodies. I almost forgot. Fuck.
What's it called? Dealing with the melodies.
Deadly with the Melodies.
Deadly with the melodies.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
All right.
that was a line borrowed from an older song, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Black Milk.
Nah, one of our songs. Me and ATAC, I think.
I got it from Deadly Medley.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was named by ATAC because me and him did a song called,
Okay, that's what
Oh, well, we've got some heated debate in the podcast. Okay, so you were in the studio. Is that sort of where your desire to learn more about production sort of stemmed from? Is that kind of the original impetus?
Nah, so a couple of years before that, actually, that was one thing that happened between those 4 years. We didn't really do much. I disappeared for like a year. I went down to Auckland and studied at SAE just to do a electronic music production course.
Yeah.
And didn't even, I failed. Like, I just didn't turn up to half the shit. But I was the first kind of time going into a actual proper studio with all
Yeah.
the gear and all the synthesizers and sounds and shit. And you could, like, they let you kind of have 2 hour slots. You could book in time just to do whatever in there. And they said, 2 hours isn't that long. You'll go in there and you'll just piss around with the sounds and that. And that's exactly what happened pretty much. You just go in there and do nothing. Just go through presets pretty much.
Yeah.
But it was pretty, it was pretty mind-blowing at the time, though, because we never had that kind of access to that kind of shit at the time.
Yeah. Because is there anything, or was there anything like they had down in Auckland, up in Whangarei or Northland?
Probably. I mean, I know, like, Big Door was around, and there's a studio up Mount Tiger and that, but they wouldn't let you just go in there and, well, I don't know, actually, we never really tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you came back from SAE. Were you feeling like enthused, or were you like, oh, I'm just going to go back to doing what I was doing before?
Pretty much.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Just simple honesty. Okay. So we hit 2012. First EP's out at this point?
Yeah, first EP's out at that point. That Summertime video's out at that point.
Right.
We were well
Okay.
into making, like, the next thing. And then I took off again.
Okay.
At 2012. Went back down to do the
Mains?
mains,
Okay.
audio engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More success there?
Yeah, way more.
Okay.
Way more. For a while anyway. And then it all kind of turned to shit around April and
Just pulled the plug?
oh, I passed. Like, I finished the course and that, but I was on, like, a real good buzz at the first couple of months, and then a whole bunch of dumb shit happened, and yeah, I was kind of keen just to get back after that, finish the course and get back home. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And often when you go away and you learn some skills, you bring them back and then you can kind of apply them
Yep.
to the local area.
Yep. Yep. That's kind of what happened with that, because with that second EP we done, it was a whole lot of, like, live. It was a lot more. We got a lot more kind of musicians and
Yeah, right.
way more than, like, I don't know. We just had people coming in to play stuff and sing stuff, and it was
Yeah.
came in handy.
Now, the whole time of this, who is the core of OBC at this point?
2012.
Yeah.
So it was me, Andrew, not ATAC, Jesse, Ants. Who else would you count? Would you? Like, I don't know.
Well, I'm asking you. You're the guest.
Yeah, I need
Drawing
a
a
second
blank.
opinion.
Second opinion here. Right, we've
That's about
That
it.
was the core though, pretty
Yeah.
much. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Right.
Ryan was.
Everyone else kind of came in and did their part, but the core group was that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. Now it sounds to me like there's been a few members over the years, right?
Yeah.
Is OBC sort of like the Wu-Tang Clan, where people just sort of come in and come out as required?
Even looser than that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think at one point we might have had like 12 people.
Right.
We had like 2 drummers.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you perform live with 2 drummers?
Nah, we only had 1 drum kit. So, and
One drum kit and a bucket?
Yeah, I don't know. We just swapped them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wow. Okay. I mean, that's so for someone who's relatively new to OBC.
Yeah.
I know you guys mainly from your Zero BC album, which is the most recent album, right?
Yeah.
But you've had like a whole lot of EPs and other albums along the way. Is that right?
Another 4-ish,
Yeah.
5-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. The bakery sessions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about. I don't understand what the bakery sessions is. Did you guys eat a lot of pies? Sausage rolls?
So yeah, the bakery was a Nissan Wing Road, I think, and we just get baked in it. basically.
Right. Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah.
I should
it's just-
not have expected anything different.
Nah, it's just a hot box.
Right. On wheels.
Pretty much, yeah. Parked up. Like, it never moved. It was
Yeah.
always just in the carport, and we'd kind of just go out there and smoke and say what we were going to do. And,
Right.
then just not
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
I think at one stage we were going to make an entire EP, and that didn't happen.
So, okay. So, right. That makes a lot more sense when you think about the album titles, the Bakery Sessions.
Yeah.
And how does everything sort of go for the next few years? You guys like gigging regularly? Are you releasing albums consistently? What does that look like? Or is it very much a piecemeal, when we get around to it, she'll be right, fella?
Nah, between 2011 and 2013, we're pretty busy with gigs and making shit. Like, we all
nice.
kind of lived, a few of us lived in the same flat, and then, it was all pretty central and shit, so we're pretty busy.
Yeah.
Just jamming and, making heaps of stuff. And then eventually we got evicted somehow, and it all kind of just turned to shit from there.
Because you all went your separate ways, right?
Yeah, and a couple other things, but
Such as... Don't want to talk about them? If you don't want to talk about them, we'll move on.
I don't mind talking about it. I'm just trying to think of what it actually was.
Oh, okay.
I can't think of what it was.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Now, so every rapper has a nickname or a name, a stage name, right?
Fuck it, yeah.
Andrew is known as AM.
Yeah.
ATAC, I'm pretty sure his parents didn't christen him ATAC, but that's his name, right?
Yeah.
We hereby christen you ATAC.
Fuck, that'd be on.
Now, yours is a little bit different. Now, I'm not going to say what it is. If you want to say it, that's fine. I'm not going to say it.
I'm not going to say it either.
But I'm curious to know, how did it come about?
It was probably like the least offensive nickname I was given.
What, they were worse?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, well, like at the time they weren't worse. At the time they were just names.
Okay, right.
But
yeah.
now that it's 2024, I guess everything's like, I don't even want to say my name.
You've got to be
anymore.
sensitive.
A little bit,
Yep. Okay. Which is why we're not going to say it, and we'll move on from that quite quickly.
What are you gonna call this interview podcast?
Northland's conversation with Steve
From OBC. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will not be your
Name, yeah.
no. That's not a happening thing.
Bivvy Stalls.
Okay.
Nah.
Or Stivvy Balls. Or Bivvy the Stiv.
I need a new name, I think.
Okay, so 2014 to now, there's a long time. You know, we've had a COVID lockdown. You guys released Zero BC. What happened in that sort of time period between 2014 and Zero BC? Because now, did that come out during lockdown? And was it the first or second one?
Zero BC.
Yeah.
That came out during. Shit, actually don't know. It came out of like we started working on some of those songs in like 2018.
Okay.
So yeah, actually we have to go back like to 2014.
Yep. Let's go back to 2014.
We made like a whole series of EPs from then on called the Fresh Off the T-Ship or something, and then by 2018 or 2017 or something, everyone was just sick of each other's shit and sick of the whole thing, and it all just turned to shit again.
Really?
Yeah. And so then after that, OBC kind of split into two projects, which was Soil, which was me and Andrew, and then Northern Advocates, which was me, Andrew, and what did I just say? Me and Andrew again.
Yeah.
Me and ATAC, too many A names, and sometimes Cam, and Zero BC kind of was those two things coming back together.
Oh,
and
wow.
merging into another thing, so that's kind of how it started. Yeah.
Okay, so OBC, for all intents and purposes, disbanded.
Pretty much.
And
yeah.
just everyone kind of went their own way.
Yeah.
But I guess you were the common denominator in both of those new projects, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So that's it just kept moving and changing. And
Yeah,
shit, so,
wow.
yeah.
Okay, so then what made... So, everyone goes along and then it fractures,
Yep.
but then it comes back together.
Yep.
What brought it back together? Is it just time apart, you're not dealing with each other, or was it just a personality thing and everyone just kind of left their egos at the door?
I'm not the one with the issues. You'd probably have to ask the others for that. I don't. Yeah, it was more between everyone else. I was kind of just like, fuck. I just want to make music.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Out of all the albums you've done, which is the one that you're kind of the most proud of and the one that you think represents you as an artist and the work that you do?
Either this last one we done or Bakery Sessions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bakery Sessions was cool because I don't know, it was more of a community thing. Like we had heaps of people in on it, and it was heaps of, I don't know. I just felt like I wasn't just making all the beats and everything. I don't know. It was just a different way of making shit at the
Yeah,
time.
nice.
A lot more musicians involved, and Zero BC I like because it was more focused, I guess.
Well, as someone who's listened to your entire discography, I will say Zero BC is a very mature album.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of discipline there, whether it be Slow or the other tracks as well. It's almost like everyone went, right, we've got pinpoint accuracy on this.
Yeah, it kind of, I don't know, we kind of thinged it down to like I don't know. And it wasn't really talked about. We just kind of wrote to the same beat or whatever, and it just happened to fit.
Oh, wow.
Like, we didn't really try to write along the same lines or anything. Like, a few of them we just wrote to it, and then the other person would come in and just be, oh, I got this, and it would just fit with it.
Okay.
So it all kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
In a weird way, yeah.
Okay, and then now Zero BC came out in 2000, is that right?
2021.
2021? Oh, 2021.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you've had another extended break.
Yeah. Yeah.
What sort of led to this break?
I had a kid.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just made it real hard to kind of do anything.
Right.
Because everyone had a different set of circumstances,
Yeah.
major life changes.
Yeah. And with where you guys are now, like, because now you're sort of starting to look at material again. Are you writing again? Where are things at for OBC?
I know these other guys are writing again. I say I'm going to write again, and I haven't. I want to. I just haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, we're apparently going to do more stuff. We've got a couple other tracks, like, up and coming things, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are they new or are they just redos of older tracks?
A bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've had a few sitting around since, like, we've done the odd thing since 2021.
Yeah.
We started working on other shit, and then it just kind of sat there, and yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's some stuff there. There's quite a bit of stuff there, actually. Yeah, so it's just a matter of figuring out how we're going to finish it and, put it together and release it, and we'll do videos or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it, like, how much of the writing process is reliant on you producing the beats first? Or is it one of those things where one of the guys can come in with some lyrics and they've got like a melody or some bars and stuff like that, and then you write to that? Or do you try and sit down, craft your beats, and then the guys go, oh, I've got something for that?
Probably the first one.
Oh, okay.
The second one will be a cool idea, though.
Yeah.
It just kind of needs, it's hard to make stuff on the spot anymore, and then, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, it sounds like, because you guys played at the Northland Artist Conversation 2-year anniversary party.
Yep.
When was the last time you guys gigged?
Before that.
Yeah.
That'd be, maybe 2017.
Yeah.
Wait, 7 years? Is that right?
No
7 years.
Fucking way. Was it?
Yeah, well,
2017, that's 7 years.
It was,
there
eh?
were a certain set of circumstances that shut down the whole city to fucking hip hop.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, like, if I can speak a little bit here, it's just all of our best gigs were in Auckland.
Right, okay.
Or
Whangarei, in my opinion, doesn't really know how to appreciate hip hop. Whereas in my mind, it should. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
I
it
think
doesn't, but
it's
it is
interesting. I think it's getting
what it
better,
is.
and I think we're going to see more of it. You know, there's some cool guys doing some cool moves at the moment.
Shit,
So it'll be interesting if presented with the opportunities. Are OBC going to perform again?
yeah,
yeah,
even if we just got a busk, like
yeah.
yeah, we're looking at other stuff,
Yeah.
as you know, other ways of performing as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I mean, you know, it's always good that, you know, you can kind of pick something up where you left off and then whatever the new version looks like. Because do you think it'll go back to slow material or bakery sessions, or have you guys sort of matured and life sort of changed you and now you're going to write from a completely different perspective, or are you just still as young and angry as you were before?
Nah, I don't even know how to word it really. Yeah, definitely not on the same thing as. Oh, I suppose yeah, Zero BC is a pretty accurate kind of comparison, but yeah, it's got to be different though.
Yeah.
Getting old.
We all are, act accordingly.
Yeah,
No, that's cool, man. Hey, look, we'll cut it off there.
sweet.
Nice and easy. Thank you very much for joining us on the podcast, man.
Ah, choice.
Hopefully this time around we'll keep the audio.
Yeah.
Producer Andrew.
Control S, yeah.
Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Cheers, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Well, there you go, everyone. Stephen Cox. As I said, it was always going to be a really different podcast. Steve is pretty good mate. He wrote the intro music for the podcast, so thank you very much. Big shout out for you. And you know, he's been excuse me, he's been a pretty solid friend of the podcast, and he sort of works with Five Elements Media as well. That's the company that kind of puts all of these podcasts together. And producer Andrew,
Yes.
was there anything that out of the podcast that you learned that you didn't know or had forgotten? Because obviously you and Steve have been tight for a number of years.
Yeah. The problem is my mic isn't working, Mark.
Okay,
I set your channel.
that's fine. Okay, so mine's good. All right, so producer Andrew has just been mumbling, and I've just been sitting here in silence. So if you hear anything like, that's producer Andrew talking. To be fair, even when the mic's on, he still sounds like that. I'm going to go to my camera. Yeah, you know, it's cool when you kind of know someone and you get to hang out with them, and you kind of learn more about them, and that's why it's a lot of fun doing these podcasts, because I get to learn new things. Probably the most interesting one was hearing his transition from drawer to beatmaker. Yeah, because we had done this about 6 months to a year ago, and we had terrible technical difficulties. All of the audio vanished into the ether, and you know, so I'd forgotten a lot of stuff. You know, Steve sort of we catch up kind of once a week, once every couple of weeks, so it's cool. So hearing that he had done illustration was actually really, really cool, really interesting. So I'm going to quickly rattle off all the bits and pieces that you guys need. You should know them by now if you're a regular guest. If you're new, I will go through them graciously. For our video, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all scrolling down the bottom. They won't be scrolling, but it'll be Northland Artist Conversation. Just have a look for those. And for the audio, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and YouTube Podcasts. Now, that's the new one. All, again, Northland Artist Conversation. And if you would like to be on the show as a creative person, we would love to have you. Or if you know someone that is creative and you'd give them a bit of support and encouragement and nurturing and say, yeah, you'd be excellent. Reach out to us via email. It's hello@northlandartistconversation.co.nz, or somewhere down here as well. Very cool. Thank you very much. So, going to quickly wrap this up. It's moving into summer, and for us, what that means is that we've got some very cool things coming up. We're going to do a end of year review. We do one of those every year, but now that we've also got the rapid fire segment, I think we might do a bit of an end of year review on some of the funnier ones. Some of the funnier questions, like where some particular artists have called me out on things, or where people have stumbled, or people have had their clicky fingers, because there's been a lot of really good stuff. So we might do one each of those this year, but we're going to keep carrying on. So thank you very much for sticking around. My name's Mark Kelly on behalf of myself, producer Andrew, editor Lee, and beatmaker Steve, who was our guest. Thank you very much for joining us on the Northland Artist Conversation. We will see you guys real soon.